Street. So the first question is, what are your future plans for 2nd Street? The current route is a disaster. And the second question is, what is the update with 2nd Street closings at 1:30 a.m. relative to the business?
Okay, you're talking about not 2nd Street transportation, but 2nd Street Bar District?
Correct.
Or both? Or?
Yes, both.
Okay, both. All right. Well, from a planning standpoint, let me address that first. It is my hope that we will see 2nd Street return to two-way traffic, basically north of Foster Street and all the way up there. It would not apply to the downtown, but it would apply to what is largely a residential neighborhood of the city cut through by a superhighway of commuters. I think it has to be done carefully and slowly and in conjunction with changes that will occur to other streets, whether they be 3rd Street, which is now being paved, or 6th Street, or 7th Street, or Division Street. As many of you also know, we have a longer-term vision and currently a federal Tiger Grant application for a bridge that would help unite the city and the Hack campus in Wildwood over the train tracks at Division Street, which might prove another access point for commuters to come in and out of the city. So that's very much in progress, and it's a series of steps. Over the past weeks, the federal courthouse has been heating up. There's been a lot of talk about changing the sort of area of 7th Street, especially between Foster and Riley Street, and I could go on and on. But these changes are happening, and it's one of my goals to see 2nd Street go to two ways by the end of this term. And then regarding the downtown and the bars, one thing that I think was a misperception was that somehow we were, that basically the city was showing special attention to particular bars in one area of the city. Quite to the contrary, the city has made it very clear that, especially with the manpower and police presence that we have to maintain officers in every district of the city. It doesn't allow for it doesn't allow really for any extra coverage, and sometimes it only allows for a limited amount of proactive policing, given our numbers. That said, we have allowed individual businesses to pay for police officers to perform extra duty work. So the bars themselves are paying for them, much like the Harrisburg Senators pay for extra officers, or the Farm Show might for special events, or UPMC Pinnacle might. And that program has worked, and it's available not just for businesses in the downtown, it's available for businesses throughout the city. So it's one way of getting additional presence, but not putting the burden on the taxpayers, rather putting it on the businesses. And that seems to have worked well. There has been a greater emphasis on crime control. We've also brought all of the major business owners together, and it was rather remarkable. You had a situation where the owners of Aruga's, Sawyer's, and Gastropub had actually had never met each other, couldn't even recognize each other before we brought them together and sat them down at a table. So we can talk about